Heading right back to our phone callers. Next up is Anthony, listening in Cincinnati, Ohio. Hi, Anthony.
Yeah, my question is about circumcision. The other night, I was rereading the book of Romans, and at the beginning of the book of Romans, he was talking about circumcision of the heart.
Yeah.
But I would like to know, can you give me a understanding of circumcision, the biblical understanding of it, and how and why it's practiced today?
Well, circumcision in terms of the biblical idea was an outward manifestation of an inward reality. So in the Old Testament, people were circumcised, and through circumcision, they were saying, we identify with Yahweh, the God of Israel. This is why parents had their children circumcised, because they were dedicating their children to Yahweh, the God of Israel. But what Paul is pointing out is that dedication, of course, means little if it's just an outward rite, because circumcision is only meaningful if there's an inward reality that's manifested as well. So that's what Paul's circumcision of the heart is all about. It's not the circumcision of the flesh, he says, it's the circumcision of the heart. It is the change of heart from a heart that is driven by the world and fleshly desires to a heart that is solely given to God.
Thank you. That's the understanding. So, in reality, it's I was circumcised as a child, and that's like a common practice in the city I'm in.
Uh-huh.
Like every boy gets circumcised.
Yeah.
So, I guess my question is that okay? Not okay. I'm using the wrong terminology.
No, I understand the question that you're asking. And, I was born in Europe, where it was a very common practice to be circumcised as a child, but the circumcision there had nothing to do with the Old Testament concept of circumcision. That's not why circumcision was valued. It was valued for health reasons more than anything else. So there were some physiological reasons that people supposed were in play that made circumcision a healthy child. And that's why parents oftentimes had their children circumcised. There are other parents that do it for different reasons. So again, the real issue here ultimately is not about whether you are circumcised or not, or whether it's wrong or right. There's nothing wrong with it, one way or the other. But the real issue from a spiritual standpoint is, has your heart been circumcised? Using that as a way of saying, has your heart been changed? The same thing would be true, for example, with the civil and ceremonial laws regarding food. There are certain foods that I don't eat today. Now, the reason I don't eat those foods has nothing to do with the Old Testament civil and ceremonial laws, but simply I'm concerned about factors that are health-related, and that's why I don't eat those certain foods. But from the perspective of the civil and ceremonial laws, what does Jesus Christ say? Well, don't say something is unclean that I've called clean, because ultimately, said Jesus, it's not a matter of that which goes in through your mouth into your stomach, but that which proceeds from the heart. And then Mark appends the words of Jesus with these words, in saying that Jesus declared all foods clean. So the civil and ceremonial laws had a purpose. The dietary laws pointed forward to Jesus Christ. But when the substance has come, the symbol is no longer necessary.
Thank you very much. You answered my question.